Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Pastor Eric Brown with Daily Manna for your soul. Happy Thursday to you. I pray the Lord is blessing you real good right now. Look, just want to bring you a word of encouragement, something to help you along your way. And today that word is stay out the way. Can I tell you today how many times have I heard that when I was a kid? Stay out the way. I was always find myself underfoot in the way, just messing stuff up. I especially remember during Christmas time, my uncles would be putting together my toys, and I wanted to help out, and I was little, and I really couldn't help out. I was just in the way. I would be picking up things and moving stuff around, and finally they would tell me, say, look, go sit over there, just stay out the way. And when I did, I found out that even though that sounded harsh to me as a little 6-year-old, I found out that really I was slowing things up. And the more I stayed out of the way, the faster they would put that thing together, and the faster I could enjoy it and play with it. So I learned at an early age to stay out the way. You know, sometime on this Christian journey, it's the same thing. Oh, God wants to do so much for us. God has so much He wants to give us and wants to do for us, and wants us to have, but we keep finding ourselves in the way. We just can't stay out the way. We got to put our mouths in it. We got to put our mouths on it. Oh, we got to put our twist on it instead of letting God have His absolute way in our lives and let God orchestrate everything that's going on, and God see it to its completion. We keep finding ourselves in the way. You know, I'm reminded of the children of Israel. Oh, the Bible lets us know that God had called them to be His people. They were His chosen people. He had called them to be His people and the sheep of His pasture, and they belonged to Him, and He loved them, and He had so much He wanted to do for them. Even when they found themselves in slavery in Egypt, God had promised that I'm going to send a deliverer. God had promised that I'm going to get you out of there. I'm going to free you out of that situation, and God sure enough did. And when God freed them, God said, and now I'm going to take you to the promised land, a place that I have prepared for you, that is flowing with milk and honey. Well, can I tell you, it should have been an 11-day journey, but it wasn't 11 days. It ended up being 40 years. Why? Because they kept getting in the way. You might say, how did they get in the way? Well, they kept getting in the way because they kept murmuring against Moses, God's leader, and murmuring against God. They kept yearning for Egypt. They kept asking to go back to Egypt. They kept being afraid in the wilderness. They kept being disobedient in the wilderness. They kept being hard-headed in the wilderness. They started worshiping idols even in the wilderness while God was leading them. God, for every miracle that God provided for them before the miracle, came murmuring and complaining. Sometimes God was performing miracles for them in spite of their attitude, in spite of their lack of faith, in spite of their ways, in spite of them staying in the way. God was just working it out for them on behalf of Moses and some of the others. Why? Because God had promised, but they had stayed in the way. At one point of their journey, God had took them to the promised land. They were on the brink of the promised land. They were so close to the promised land that they were able to send spies in, and they were able to spy out the land, and they found out the land was everything that God said it was. But they found that there were giants in the land, and because they saw giants in the land and they were fearful of the giants, they said, we're not going in, even though God said go in, even though God said possess, even though God has said I'll be with you, I'll take care of the giants. Why would God send you into a place where there was giants, and He wasn't going to be able to protect you and give you the victory over the giants? But instead of wanting to do it God's way, they wanted to do it their way. And instead of them going into the wilderness and coming through the wilderness and getting to the promised land in 11 days, it took them 40 years because they wanted to do it their way. I'm just here to tell somebody right now today, you got to learn to trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not on your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge Him. That's important. In all your ways acknowledge Him. Give him the preeminence. Defer to God. Let God have it. Let God handle it. Let God do it. You stay out of it. You sit back. And if you sit back, or can I tell you, God will get it done faster than with you being in the way. Because if you stay out of the way, oh, God will make a way. Somebody need to get that right now. When we stay out of the way, God will make a way. He'll make a way for you to be able to give Him the glory, to give Him the honor, give him the praise, and to get the victory. Learn to stay out of the way. Look, you have an awesome day. You be blessed of the Lord. Peace.